Feel the breeze where the dreams don't stop. Sailing high in the metro hub spot. Where next metro where the stories flow. Casting light on the life we know. Talking homes, talking lives we build. Every episode leaves you thrilled. Kick back, relax, let your worries go. You're tuned in now to the Metro Show.
Welcome back to The Deep Dive. We're the show that cuts through the noise to bring you the knowledge you need. Today, we are taking a real plunge into the Pinellas County real estate market, specifically looking at the trends for August 2025. And this deep dive, it's packed with data, strategic insights, and it's brought to you by the experts at RE/MAX Metro. They proudly serve the whole Tampa Bay area, headquartered right here in St. Petersburg. And remember, it's RE/MAX, one word. We should also mention we've been pretty fortunate. August 2025, right in the thick of hurricane season, but no major storms. That stability, well, it's definitely helped the market we're about to talk about.
It really has. Like, calm weather's been a good backdrop. But, what's really striking in our briefing summary is how, despite that stability, the market itself is, well, complex. We're seeing really divergent dynamics, different things happening depending on the property type here in Pinellas. So our mission for you today, listening in, is to kind of peel back those layers, unpack these forces, and really figure out what it all means for your real estate journey. It's more than just numbers, right? It's about strategy.
Exactly. Whether you're out there looking for your next home, maybe thinking about selling, or you just want to stay informed about this really dynamic region, we've boiled down the key insights. We want you walking away feeling informed, yes, but also positioned to make smart decisions. Okay, so let's unpack this. The biggest distinction we need to make right off the bat, because it shapes everything else, is the market type for different properties. August 2025 in Pinellas County, it's pretty clear. Single-family homes, they're sitting in what we call a balanced market. That's about 4.35 months of inventory. And months of inventory just quickly is how long it'd take to sell everything currently listed if nothing new came on. Key supply versus demand thing. But then you look over at condos, townhouses, apartments, totally different story. Firmly a buyer's market. We're talking 7.99 months of inventory, almost double.
Yeah, and that difference, that nearly 8 months versus just over 4, it's not just a statistic. It has huge practical implications. If you're looking at condos, you walk into that market with way more choice. And that choice translates directly into negotiating power. You have leverage. But for single-family homes, it's more like an even playing field. Buyers and sellers are kind of meeting in the middle. It demands a different strategy, maybe a bit quicker on both sides.
Okay, so balance for single-family, buyer's market for condos. What's driving this? Well, here's where it gets really interesting, and it connects right back to those inventory numbers. Inventory is rising everywhere, and not just a little bit. The condo, townhouse, apartment market inventory surged, get this, 171.8% over the last year.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's nearly tripling the available properties. And single family isn't far behind, up 106.2% in the same time frame. When you see numbers like that, what jumps out to you?
Well, a surge that big, like 171.8% for condos, it signals more than just, supply catching up. It suggests a major recalibration. Maybe it's buyer priorities shifting, maybe specific condo developments came online, maybe less demand for denser living, or even changes in seasonal patterns. We need to dig deeper there, but the effect is clear. Tons more options for buyers, great news for them. But flip that coin, and for sellers, suddenly you've got intense competition. You're competing not just on price, but staging, marketing, the whole package. It feels like a fundamental market adjustment.
And all that extra inventory, it naturally makes you think about negotiation potential, right? So we look at the sold to list price percentage. How close did the final sale get to the asking price? Single-family homes are landing around 95.5% of asking. Condos, townhouses, apartments are a little lower, about 94.8%. So definitely not a market where everything flies off the shelf above asking.
Exactly. Those figures, 95.5 and 94.8, they clearly show there's room for buyers to negotiate. It's not that frenzy we saw a few years back. And for sellers, this just hammers home how crucial realistic pricing is right from day one. If you overprice, even slightly in this climate, your property could just sit there. Then you're looking at price cuts, which sometimes makes buyers even more hesitant. You got to hit that market value accurately up front.
Right. Speaking of sitting there, let's talk about the pace of sales. days on market. For condos, townhouses, apartments, the median is about 65 days. Single-family homes are moving faster, median of 45 days. Not lightning speed, but not molasses either.
Yeah, and that difference fits perfectly with what we've been saying. 65 days for condos, that screens buyer's market. It gives buyers breathing room, time for inspections, second looks, careful decisions, no rush. 45 days for single-family homes, that's a steady, reasonable pace. If a house is priced right and shows well, it should sell in about a month and a half. It's a healthy rhythm for most sellers.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk directly to you, the buyers. How do you navigate these opportunities in Pinellas right now, keeping these numbers in mind?
Right. So for condo buyers,
Yeah.
you are definitely in the driver's seat. You need to leverage that. Almost 8 months of inventory means choices, and choices mean negotiating power. Use it. And with properties taking longer to sell, that median 65 days, you have time. Don't feel pressured. Do your homework, see multiple places, feel good about your offer. And don't hesitate to ask for concessions or negotiate on price, especially if something's been listed for a bit.
And if you're looking at single-family homes, okay, it's balanced, not quite the buyer's paradise like condos, but that inventory jump, over 100% year over year, that still means way more options than you had recently. So yes, be ready to act if you find the right place, especially if it's priced well. But also remember that 95.5% sold to list figure. There's likely some room to negotiate. Explore that.
And a really practical tip for all buyers, use those median sold prices as your starting point. $273,000 for condos, $425,000 for single family. These are actual closing prices, so they ground your budget in reality. But, and this is important, remember, these are county-wide medians. Pinellas is diverse. You've got beaches, downtown, suburbs. The median price in St. Pete Beach is going to be vastly different from Largo, right? So drill down into specific neighborhoods.
Yeah, that's a great point. These overall trends are vital, but digging into those local neighborhood dynamics within Pinellas, that's where you really understand the value and find those opportunities. Okay, so now let's flip it. What if you're looking to sell your property in Pinellas County right now? What does all this mean for you?
Well, connecting all the dots for sellers. The number one thing is realistic pricing. Across the board, you've got those sold-to-list numbers around 95%, plus massive inventory increases, 171% for condos, 106% for single family. Trying to test the market with a high price, that strategy is probably not going to work well right now. Overpricing often leads to sitting on the market, getting stale, then price cuts. You might end up netting less than if you priced it right initially. It's like trying to sell that winter coat in Florida in July, like we said. Price it wrong, it just sits.
And for a condo seller specifically, it sounds like you need to be extra strategic. You're facing nearly 8 months of supply, that huge inventory jump, properties taking over 2 months to sell. So beyond just the price number, what does strategic pricing and effective marketing actually involve for condos to really stand out now?
It's about being sharp. Strategic pricing for a condo means looking at very recent comps, like the last 30, maybe 60 days, not 6 months ago. Maybe it even means pricing just slightly under the very top comp to drive immediate interest in showings. And marketing, crucial. High-quality photos, video tours, maybe even virtual staging for vacant units. You need to highlight what makes your condo special. The view, the amenities, the walkability, that renovated kitchen. Make it pop online because there's a lot of competition scrolling past.
Okay. And for those selling single-family homes or maybe luxury homes, even though it's a more balanced market, 4.35 months supply, buyers still have more choices than before, so competitive pricing and great marketing are still key. You can expect a decent selling time frame, that median 45 days, if the home is priced and presented really well. But what about those reports of declining median estimated property values? Sellers need to factor that in, right?
Oh, absolutely critical. Sellers have to be aware that the median estimated property value is down year over year. It was negative 3.8% for single family, and a bigger drop, negative 8.5% for condos. This isn't just noise, it's a market signal. For single family sellers, you can't just bank on past appreciation anymore. For condo sellers, it's an even clearer message. The market perceives values as softer, so your price needs to reflect that current reality. We had a single-family client recently. They wanted to price based on the peak. We showed them these year-over-year changes. They adjusted down just a bit, and boom, went from weeks of silence to an offer quickly. It's about managing expectations based on today's data.
Yeah, and it all circles back to prepping your property. With buyers having more choices, making your home look its absolute best, decluttering, paint, curb appeal, minor fixes that can really make or break a deal or impact the final price you get. All right, let's shift one more time. For our real estate professionals listening in, the agents on the ground, how do these trends shape your strategies? How do you best guide your clients through this evolving Pinellas market? What's the pro perspective?
Beyond just knowing the stats, The big shift for agents is needing to be incredibly adaptable. Tailored strategies are key. The market is almost split in two, isn't it? You've got this clear buyer's market for condos, balanced with single family. So
Yeah.
as an agent, you can't use the same playbook for both. You need different advice, different marketing, different negotiation tactics depending on the property type. You really have to be a market analyst for each specific client situation.
Absolutely. And that means really internalizing data points like those huge jumps in month supply of inventory, plus 171.8% for condos, plus 106.2% for single family. Knowing the numbers is step one, but how do agents use that deep data effectively? How do you build trust and find those unique angles for your clients, not just recite facts?
That's a value add, right? For your buyer clients, you guide them on how to leverage that negotiation potential. Referencing the 95-ish% sold to list, you help them understand what 45 days versus 65 days on market means for their offer strategy. It's about advising on offer strength, where they can push, maybe where they need to hold firm. And for your seller clients, it's about counseling them on truly strategic pricing, backing it up with hard data. It's about crafting marketing that really stands out. And it's about managing expectations on timelines, especially with those value adjustments we talked about. You have to be that trusted advisor, using the why behind the numbers to guide them, even through tough conversations.
And agents, don't forget to use those median sold prices, $273K for condos, $425K for single family, as benchmarks in your discussions. But then drill down further. Look at specific communities, zip codes, even specific buildings or subdivisions. The more granular your analysis, the better you can educate your clients on the realities of their specific corner of the Pinellas market. So let's wrap up this deep dive into Pinellas County real estate for August 2025. The big picture. It really is a tale of two markets. Clear buyer's advantage for condos, a more balanced but definitely shifting scene for single-family homes. But underlying both is that significant increase in inventory, creating a need for smart, strategic action whether you're buying or selling. It's definitely a strategic playing field now. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, but it may be something to think about as we close. Given these big shifts in inventory and pricing, especially for condos, how is all the new construction we're seeing, particularly in the condo sector, going to interact with this maybe softening demand in the coming months here in Pinellas? And what could that mean for your own long-term real estate goals and maybe the wider Tampa Bay landscape?
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. And for personalized help navigating these conditions and hitting your own real estate goals, definitely reach out to an expert at RE/MAX Metro. They have the local knowledge and strategic advice you need right now.